really, really like Ibanez, you know what I mean? This makes everything so much faster when you have all this stuff to get on stage and get off stage. I could run off stage, grab this thing, put it on, and the Evertune will make sure I'm in tune no matter when it was the last time I touched it. And we're back. This is Soto for Peeling Flesh. We are here at the Salt Shed with Lorna Shore, Black Dahlia Murder, and Shadow Intent, who are all our friends, in case you wanted to know. They are some of our favorite people. So, y'all guys remember our last gear rundown. Some things have changed. We've got some endorsements. We've got completely gear upgrade. And I did want to go a little bit more in depth on how all of this even ties together. We touched on pieces, but we're only talking about a piece of the machine. So we'll start with guitars. So last time we had BC Rich guitars, which were awesome. This is something that like we bought with our touring money. But me and Jason have both been Ibanez fans since the time we started playing guitar. You can go to a pawn shop and pick up an Ibanez Geo for $99, throw a sick pickup in it, and it just sounds awesome. So a lot of Peeling songs were written on an Ibanez RG from a pawn shop. So when we got approached by Ibanez, our friend Tyler, actually our friend Adrian from All Show Parish introduced us to our friend Tyler from Ibanez, and he immediately said, yes, we know exactly who you are. Let's get some guitars in your hands. So we have two tunings, drop A and drop F. We used to use the pitch pedals to pitch down, but we decided that it sounded a little bit more clearer by actually tuning that far down, because that's what we would do on an official recording of an album or an EP or a song, is we would actually tune that low. So for the drop A stuff, I'll start with mine, because me and Jason got different guitars for our drop A stuff. This one is mine that was given to me by my friend Tyler in Ibanez. This is a brand new model of Ibanez. It is called the RGR 52ET. This kicks ass, has the Evertune, which after starting this tour, and all of our friends on this tour being friends with all the big people in the industry, they were introducing us to their friends. And Evertune reached out and said, we would love to have you on our artist roster. On top of that, we were in New England and met Ken from Fishman Pickups, and he said, those are my pickups you got in your guitar, and said, I'd love to have you guys on our artist. So he put us on, and so now me and Jason are both Fishman artists, and I am an Evertune artist. But this is how this guitar comes equipped. I'm pretty sure this comes black. I put a gold one in it. It comes with gold pickups. I put the gold knobs and the gold button on it. I also put the old school Ibanez check mark logo that they used to do back in the day, because I love the old classic Ibanez's that had the fin inlays and the Nike check. Meshuggah had that back in the 90s, and I love that. So when I got this, I'll put one of those on. The Fishman Modern pickup, Fishman Moderns, just balls to the wall. It's fucking, they really do the job whenever it comes to like trying to make extremely high gain tone. I do love EMGs, but Fishman's really just give it just a little bit more for my tone that I was using a tube screamer for. So this thing kicks out. Tone knob is completely disconnected, no need for it. Volume knob and switch is the only thing that works. This is I think a different option for something, but I think I just have it disconnected. I really just need to not accidentally hit my tone knob, so I just need my volume on full, my switch on. We don't use the neck pickup at all, so this one is mine, and I absolutely love this guitar. I do love the BC Riches, don't get me wrong, they are very high quality, but these Ibanez's are awesome. It's a little heavier than I like, but so are the BC Riches. But same strings, we're still using Dunlop strings, Dunlop picks, the same picks, same strings that we had before. The only difference is now we buy, when we order strings from Dunlop, we order a 7-string pack. So it has an extra 74 for the drop F guitars. So that way, We just have a entire box full of strings, and depending on what guitar we're putting it on, we either do away with the 13 or we do away with the 74. But it works for both of them. So if you find a pack randomly in a box somewhere and you need an emergency set of strings, you'll know it works. So this is for the drop A stuff for me. This one is Jason's drop A guitar. This is also a brand new model. This one is called the RGA 21P1PB. Yeah. It did come with DiMarzio pickups. We immediately put Fishmans in them. I mean, the day that it showed up, I pulled everything out and immediately put Fishmans in this thing, and immediately tracked a song off of our new album that's gonna come out next year. Like, we were super excited to get these guitars. So let's look at them in the sunlight. Look at that. I would have Jason out here right now, but he's asleep because he's been up playing Lowrider Comeback all night building cars. Okay, so we'll start with Jason's drop F guitar. We both have the same guitar. This is another brand new model from Ibanez. This is the RGRT BB21. So this is 28-inch scale. This is the stock Ibanez bridge, but we, same thing, immediately pulled the DiMarzios out and put Fishmans in it. One volume, one knob, did away with the tone knob. Shout out Tyler and Tyler's people from Ibanez, because they did this for us, and when they got the guitars first, set them up perfectly, and then sent them to us. This is neck through. And I keep the tunings on here because that's a lot of alphabet to try to remember. But this is his drop F guitar, so the difference between his and mine is a lot. Look at this shiny piece of shit. Look at this. Yeah. This is the same guitar that he has. The only difference is I attempted to route it for an Evertune and did okay. All right, I'll take 95% of a homemade routing job where the piece of wood flew out, but this thing kicks ass. This is drop F, Evertune, Fishmans. I mean, long scale. The neck is a little bit thicker, so it's a little bit easier to hold something this long. But this thing right here is shiny. My friend Casey Foster in Oklahoma City, at a place called Zenith Industries. He does wraps, window tint. He's a really good friend of mine that I've known from working in body shops together. We had this idea to gold wrap a guitar. And when I got the endorsement, the first thing I did was texted him and said, it's time to gold wrap a guitar. So he immediately ordered the gold wrap. As soon as the guitar showed up, I stripped it down, took it straight to him, and we laughed and giggled and made this thing gold. And I put a chrome logo on it on the top. It's a little dirty right now because I haven't had a chance to really clean it up yet, but it's absolutely love these guitars. Love Ibanez. Really like Ibanez, you know what I mean? I've had this since I was 21. So, and then the cases, so the same two blue Gator cases that we had from the last one, but this is a new one that they came out with. This is really cool. I just got this one right before the tour because we still have our two backups. One is one of the BC Rich Shredzillas, but also for the drop F stuff, if we need something, I have this backup. It's a Solar. Fantastic guitar with an Evertune, so that way if something happens, I could run off stage, grab this thing, put it on, and the Evertune will make sure I'm in tune no matter when it was the last time I touched it. Insane. Shout out Evertune. This lives in the case, never gets tuned, but if something happens and I switch to it, it's in tune. That's a testament right there. And then the same BC Rich from the last one as just a backup for drop A. But they live in these cases and they have yet to have to come out yet. I haven't had to do anything with them, but if I do need them, they are just as great as the last time I picked them up. So, moving on from guitars, because there's no bass. Alright, let's move to... We touched on this a little bit, on how all of this stuff works. We've made some changes. Me and Joey got together and had this idea of creating looms. So we made two looms, one for the front of the stage, and one loom for specifically drums. Where everything starts is from my Axe Effects to his Axe Effects and to the bass rig. These will be on my side of the stage. It's just one loom. It's got a MIDI cable, which will connect into my Axe Effects, the DI cable for the bass, the bass output from the Axe Effects, and stage right guitar, which would be Jason's guitar, all on one loom. This makes everything so much faster when you have all this stuff to get on stage and get off stage off of one loom. On one side is this, where it plugs into our stage box here, which plugs in right here into its little slot right here where the green tape is, that way we know which one it is. And on this other side, this is what goes to Jason's side of the stage, which is super simple. The cable for the Axe Effects for the bass DI, blue for bass, orange for stage right, and Jason's MIDI cable. You unplug this, you pull the entire thing, you have all your cables off stage. Those all go to the box, which go here, which this, on this side, so the reason why this is so big is because technically we only need this, but we need this for our front of house in the US. Now this looks scary. Let's not think about any of that. This is just us. This is what we hear in our headphones. This is our mic inputs, the stuff coming from the stage. All goes into these mic splits down here and comes from here up here. If we didn't have a front of house that needed all this stuff, then we would just go straight from the stage right into this box. Super simple. Like if we go to Europe, that's how we will run it. But in the US, it's a lot easier to keep this safe in a big case. So this bottom half right here is all mic splits. One input goes in, two inputs come out. They either go here or they go here. This is for our front of house man. His name was Nolan. This goes to his Behringer wing on at front of house. And this one right here goes right to right, Midas M32C. Super small, super compact, super powerful, and it's very compact in a way that you can build a giant rig from, which is very important. When you have to fly on an airplane, this all needs to be the most compact version that you can get it. So that is our mixer. That is our mixer that sends a very good stereo mix to me and Jason, and a good stereo mix to Joey. It sounds like a CD in our headphones. There's click barely there in mine and Jason's, so that way it sounds more like a live show in our headphones. Joey's headphones have a click blasting. They have a kick blasting. That's all he needs. That's all he wants. He wants it super loud, and that's what he gets. That one's his. This one's mine and Jason's. And these two right here are just for backup. If something happens, we're in a pinch, we can immediately swap packs, turn this one on, and in the middle of a show, within 10 seconds, we can swap. If anything happens, but fingers crossed, we haven't ran into that. Which, this is all guitar and bass world when it plugs into here. D's vocals plug in here, my vocals plug in here. D takes care of all of the vocal stuff before and after the show, so that way I don't have to worry about that part. I just focus on bass and guitars. But that is how all of this runs to one cable, one input right here. We get on stage and we get off. And nothing changed as far as Axe Effects, head, cabs, except the only difference with these cabs now, I did the thing I was talking about, and I put the V30s in the bottom cab, but this time I put 4 V30s, but I left the 2 Eminence here, both of them running in 4 ohms. Chunky. So this one's my rig, this is my side, both identicals. Jason's mine, his ain't completely set up yet. Not much has changed from the last rig rundown. If you want a more in-depth how all that ran, I'll just do an easy part from here. XLR goes to the stage box. It's the same for his. MIDI cable from the split going to the MIDI cable to the other side. Now this is something that was really smart on our part. We zip tied all of the power pieces that we need to the head, so we don't lose them in the cable case, or we don't lose them and accidentally drop them at a venue. Because if you don't have one of these, you're asking somebody to borrow some stuff. But these speaker cables are really special to me because a friend of ours here in Chicago, his name is DeLon, he hand makes our speaker cables for us. And I have had these for maybe a year and a half, 2 years. Literally have never ran into an issue. The other ones, I only have 2, so Jason has to suffer. I've replaced these twice. In the time that I've had these, I've replaced these twice, and I can't wait to get more, so that way I won't have to keep replacing these. But EVH 5153, EL34, Axe FX, AX8, Vader cabs, 2212, Eminent speakers, 4 V30s, same thing for both of them. Carbon bass cab. Oh shit, we got gifted something from Seymour Duncan. This isn't it, because it's not in here yet. I have to get the rack ears for it. But our friend Wes from Black Dahlia Murder introduced us to the guys at Seymour Duncan, and they brought us a present. They brought us a brand new Seymour Duncan prototype power stage bass amp. And as soon as we get home, we're immediately taking this thing out and putting that in, and we're gonna start rebuilding some more tones. But this is all still the same from the last one. Axe FX2, just fantastic for bass tone. We don't even really need this or this. If we wanted to, we could go straight to front of house with this. Like if we go to Europe, we won't bring a bass rig. We'll just bring this, put this in with this rack, and then that's just our bass tone for Europe. Which a lot of the stuff is going to still be the same in Europe, except for we won't have cabs, we won't have amps. Everything will basically be down to this, that, and these cases somehow. So that's basically everything from front of stage. That's everything that I've worked on for our in-ear monitoring rack, to guitars, to bass, to guitars, everything. This is our fastest way of getting on stage. Shout out Evertune, because on this tour I have had the best tuning stability I've ever had. Tuning consistency I've ever had on this tour because of Evertune. Shout out Fishman for making some of the best pickups, because they've really separated our tones from everybody else's of how gnarly you can get. And big thank you to Ibanez. Shout out Tyler and Ibanez, because me and Jason never thought that getting an Ibanez endorsement was even something that was possible. And starting the conversation, it was almost like they were waiting for us. And that feels really good to some Oklahoma boys that really thought we wasn't going to make it out of here. Shout out Lorna Shore for being one of the best, biggest bands on the planet. Black Dahlia, thank you so much, because y'all guys have really accepted us as if we were just all local band friends together. And everybody in Shadow of Intent for sharing green rooms with us and just laughing and hanging out and sharing food and sharing stories. And this entire tour package. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for everybody else here, and we are entirely appreciative of everybody, and Gear Masters and Digital Tour Bus, and just making friends on tour has been one of the best experiences of our life.